Mike Thomas. Bam! Did you know he was back practicing with the Saints for the first time in 18 months? The injury-plagued wide receiver said he was lost for words, something we do not struggle with here on The Sweat. We haven't seen Thomas since week 14 of the 2020 campaign. Bukes, what are reasonable expectations for this guy? And with Jameis Winston as his quarterback, too.
Yeah, and Jameis Winston that can see, right? Got LASIK surgery. It should be 20/20 vision. You should be able to see, more than 5 yards ahead of him. That's always a plus when you're the starting quarterback. But, it feels like for the first time in a long time on the Saints that there's going to be some competition for targets in this offense, right? I feel like we haven't had that in quite a while. They signed Jarvis Landry. They drafted Chris Olave in the draft there. So there's going to be some options there. We'll see what ends up coming out with Alvin Kamara if he ends up getting suspended for disciplinary reasons or not. So that could hurt or help there. But then also you got to talk about, offensive coordinator Pete Carmichael. When he took over for Sean Payton back in 2012, while he was doing his suspension, 50% of the time they were doing 3 wide receiver sets there. So that is always going to take something into consideration as well. So I think we have to kind of, pump the brakes a little bit here on Thomas. This is going to be the first time we've seen him on the field. But with that being said, we all know what the talent is like when he's on the field. A healthy Thomas is never a bad Thomas. So I think that, this is someone you're taking a little bit later in your drafts if you're drafting him. But this is somebody with an amazing ceiling and an immense high upside.
Jeff, the unanswered question is how his ankle will fare when engaging in contact, like under a workload too of a full season here. Over under receiving yards on the DK Sportsbook for Thomas, 800.5, dude.
Yeah, it sounds so small, but I mean, like you got to understand about Mike Thomas. Like the big news right now is just that he's on the field. That just tells you the history here and like the injury plagueness that is Michael Thomas over the last couple of years. Buchanan makes good points. I actually think that the Saints are going to throw the ball a little bit more than they have in the past, because I've even talked about, well, they're a rush first team. How many targets are they going to be around? But like, there is a new OC. I don't think this will be the exact same team we saw last year. I think it'll be fairly similar though. And the real thing that worries me about Mike Thomas and why I'm not touching the over here, I would probably consider the under, to be honest, as a bet, is Jarvis Landry. Wherever Jarvis Landry goes, he sucks targets out. You just look at his career. I think he's had like less than 90 targets once in his career, regardless of where he's gone. He's going to take some of those slot targets for sure. And we just don't know how much Michael Thomas is even going to be on the field. There is an immense ceiling, still there is. But like right now, I mean, there's no reason for me, just because he's on one practice field for one day, to start leaning over here.
Yeah, Pierce, Thomas nearly 3 full years removed from a historic campaign in 2019. That's when he broke the single-season receptions record, 149 catches there.
Is no one going to mention Taysom Hill? What's the deal? That shows how much we've grown since last season. The Saints were so bad, that was all that we talked about. Now it's, who cares about Taysom Hill? They've got 3 good receivers. They've got a backfield. I guess the quarterback has LASIK eye surgery. Even with Andy Dalton in this back as a quarterback, they could be a halfway decent team. So Saints fans should be excited. DFS players, probably not so much. There's just too many mouths to feed. You've got erratic quarterback play. Also, the defense, this is a top 10 defense, and we could see this team be a little bit more conservative and just let their defense play solid. Don't make too many mistakes. Don't let Jameis throw the ball all around the field. You could see that happen. DFS is kind of a stay away early on, but Saints fans should be pretty happy.